Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
If you're standing, please hold on to the handrails and stay clear of the doors until the monorail stops completely and the doors open.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
And you're on the Resort Loop. You found the gateway to the magic. Bob, this is another exciting show. I love these shows.
I do too. This is very, very exciting. I always love when we have guests, especially guests that are right next door to the Magic Kingdom.
I know.
Very exciting. Before we get to that wonderful guest, can I throw a shout out there?
Absolutely, send it.
I've got a special shout out for one of our fantastic listeners. You guys all know her. She's been on the show. Susan Brass brought some things to our attention today. Tim, you had already seen it. I hadn't seen it yet.
Yes.
But they put out some concept art, if you will, for the Polynesian.
Yes.
So love it. How do you feel about they're going back to the Polynesian Village Resort?
I love going back to the Polynesian Resort. I love the Blippo font.
Excuse me?
You heard me. The Blippo font.
You're just making stuff up now.
I am not making that up. That is what it is.
You are.
Oh,
come on.
Oh, I got someone on the phone right here that can replace you, Bob. So watch your step. Watch your step. Okay, you Google. I love them bringing that back.
Yeah.
But the actual concept, I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah. We'll put it up on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
But
the lobby thing. Ugh.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of, honestly, is the pictures that our good pal Dave Tupper sent us from Alani. It's more of an open area.
Well, that's what they were saying all along, but I don't know.
Boy, yeah, I'm struggling with it. Got to tell you, I am struggling with it. So
things just don't seem real anymore, Bob. They just don't seem real.
I know. And then they're bringing from California a Trader Sam's. So that should be interesting.
I've heard good things about that out there, but that doesn't bother me. It's the lobby. I don't know why that disturbs me so.
Well,
traditionalist.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell them one of your traditions that you will be unable to do without serious injury to fellow guests? No.
I will say, if you're down there, look out. And I posted this, I think, last year on my trip. If you stand, or used to stand, right outside of the what's now the Kona Cafe.
Yeah.
Before it was the Coral Isle Cafe. And you look down in the lush greenery that's not there. There's a little pool. And that was my official wishing pool. I'd always throw pennies in there. And now it's gone.
Gone. Don't throw pennies over that anymore.
I'm throwing pennies.
We're going to have to change the tone to say, please stand clear of the lobby.
Yes. But I'll try to be optimistic about the whole thing. Like I said, we just saw it today, so.
Yeah. It's we are traditionalists when it comes to that type of thing, but as they say, the only constant is change.
I know. It's like painting over the Mary Blair in the Contemporary.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, could you imagine them tearing down the mural? Oh, the outrage.
They'd be storming the castle.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hope, optimism. What is it?
Half full.
Half full. We'll try.
We'll try to go half full.
We'll try. One more quick shout out too. I must do a quick shout out to our new friends over in the Isle of Man.
Excuse me? Is that a place you've been attending? What is this Isle?
I don't know. I got to tell you though, the fact that we are global, which we really appreciate that is so cool to us. My geometry has gotten so good. I know where more countries are better than I ever have. So that is very cool.
Well, I will say, being the Isle of Man, you would think it'd be more of a peninsula. And that's all I'm going to say.
So we've got a special guest
Yes,
today.
we do. I'm very excited about our guest today. Bob, why don't you go ahead and introduce him for us?
Sorry, Michael, that you have to follow that.
Yeah.
We have with us the new, actually, on Passport to the Parks, a great website if you want to get some cool information about going to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, the Disney Cruise Line, and even that other place where there's a wizard. But he is now has his own what would you call that, Michael? Your own segment?
We'll call it a segment. That sounds.
All right, because I don't, geometry I'm good at. English, not so much. But anyway, everybody, welcome. Our good friend of the show has been with us for a very long time. Michael Black, the new author of Theme Park Local that can be found on passporttotheparks.com.
Hey, Michael.
Hello. I almost forgot that I was talking to you. I was just kind of listening, like I was going to start doing something.
Start swearing back at the iPod.
You guys are wrong again.
Back some laughter, that's for sure.
Well, after that long introduction, show's over. So thanks for joining us, Mike.
No problem.
But Michael, we kind of have a kindred spirit with Michael, don't we, Tim?
We do. He's one of us. He's smarter than us, but he's one of us.
And why is he smarter than us?
He left.
Michael used to live in Ohio, right,
yes.
Mike? That's right. From Chillicothe, Ohio, originally.
Oh, very nice. Down at prison country down there.
That's right, yeah. My high school was right there beside it. So.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. And they let you go, did they? That's very cool. So you guys decided, you and your wife decided to move. What kind of spurred you guys to move to the Orlando area?
Well, our love for Disney, of course, but we always say that it was purely financial because the amount of money we were spending trying to come down here several times during the year just started to become ridiculous. And we said, every day we're dreaming of being there. Every day we wish we were there. And we're trying to save money to go. So we finally decided, why don't we just move there? And then that way we don't have to pay to go, constantly.
Very
brilliant.
Yeah, that's pretty much what prompted it. Plus, we cannot stand cold weather. If I had to go through one more winter, I was going to scream. So
I think that's where everybody in Ohio is right now.
I hear you, brother.
We have had enough. So you just picked up and moved, did you?
It took some planning. I mean, it was a couple years in the works to finally, get to this point, but to where we could move. But we got to a point where we said, "This is it. We can do it," and it became a reality. So
that is outstanding. And so what is it like? I know we've had our good pal Sean Woosley on before, and he's given us those great commando segments to the parks. Tell us a little bit, the difference between going down there to visit and then being able to actually live there and go to the parks when you want.
The biggest thing, and I think I might have mentioned it in one of my first couple articles I wrote for Passport to the Parks, is time. It gives you time. When you're on vacation and there is a huge line for an attraction you want to ride, you kind of have to wait in it. You don't have an option to come back at a different time to do it. You pretty much are at the mercy of the dates that you chose to go. Along with that is with weather. We can pretty much plan and know when the weather is going to be bad, and if it is now, we can just go home. Whereas before, you just kind of have to stick it out and do what you have to do. So I think that time is the most valuable thing that we got by moving down here.
Do you find it's more of a relaxing tour of the parks now that you have that kind of time?
Oh, definitely. Me and my son, about a month ago, we decided to do this outrageous, try to do 6 parks in one day thing, just as the two of us, where we wanted to go to both Universal parks and to get to all 4 Disney parks in one day. And that is not the norm. Normally, we will take it easy and kind of just take stuff in. One day we might go to Art of Animation just to go to dinner and walk around. And because my youngest son, he's 20 months old and he really loves cars. So he gets to go and walk around and see those. But yeah, it's much more relaxed you see a lot more things that you wouldn't typically see when you're on vacation because you're always on the go.
Right. Did you complete your quest?
5 out of 6.
Oh.
Yeah, we sacrificed to Animal Kingdom.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of had to. We got to that point, and if one's got to go,
You had to cut it loose. Dead weight.
Safari Mike is rolling over in his Quonset hut right now.
Oh, he is. Oh.
Well, I will say that maybe I can say that we wanted more time in that park. It's a park that you really need more time. Not a half-day park.
Right.
It's a full-day park. And we really didn't have the time we needed to explore the park correctly. Would that redeem myself in his eyes, you think?
That was a pretty good spin you put on it. I like that. Very, very political. I loved it.
I think he's already turned it off. He's not listening to us anymore. Tell us a little bit how you got involved in the whole PassportToTheParks.com.
Well, I was contacted by the owner of the site, Rob, and I've been friends with him on Facebook for, I'd say 2-3 years, maybe longer. He's also from Ohio, and so he kind of, I think, started following me because we were making the jump to move down here, and that's something that him and his family are also looking to do, I believe. And so we had been friends on Facebook for quite a while, and he kind of contacted me and asked if I would be interested in writing some things, and I was extremely excited because I've always wanted to do a blog or write in some way to share the experiences I have, maybe some tips, things that we've come across to help other people who are vacationing, and in people who might want to move down here. What are some pitfalls? What did we come across, and how do we manage to not let the magic die by living right beside it? So,
very good.
Yeah, I was extremely excited about it and still am.
Very good.
Yeah.
So tell us, how is it moving down there? How do you keep the magic alive? Well,
I'll tell you, you have to start with a firm basis, which you guys have. You have to love Disney, and you're to the point to where you have your own podcast every a couple times a week. I think you're going to be okay. As far as,
you think we'd fit in?
Yeah, if you move down here, I think it's not going to bother you to be immersed in it all the time, and that's kind of the way we were. Our everyday lives were all about Disney until we walked out of our house in Ohio, and then we were looking at what we were looking at. And I'm not going to elaborate on that. It's just Ohio. It is what it is.
Right. You have like 3 beautiful months, and the rest are less than thrilling.
Yes.
So when go ahead.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so you decide to leave Ohio, and you're going to move down to Disney. How do you decide, or how did you decide, like what community around Disney you wanted to live in? Because there's a whole lot of different areas around there. How did you decide where you wanted to settle?
Well, that's it. There are a lot of places, and we were concerned because we didn't have any family down here prior, and we still don't. So we knew we had to find a place that we felt comfortable in, and a place that we felt safe. So what we started doing was our trips we would take to Disney World once or twice a year. We would pick a day out of those trips, and it would be a research day, basically. We would go drive around, get ourselves lost. We even got a map with highlighters and kind of went through and we're like, no, this area doesn't look like it's where we would want to live. We also did a lot of research as far as school ratings, and then, just stuff like that. And when it came down to it, we decided on a place, and we rented an apartment, and we thought, we did a 7-month lease. We thought 7 months we can deal with, and then that'll give us 7 months to decide where we would like to permanently reside around there.
Well, that's a very good call. That was very smart to check things out while you're down there. Celebration was not on the radar.
Well, not no.
It's on my radar, but not on my radar. I know what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, the price tag wasn't on my radar. Yeah.
Right. Your latest article is the My Disney Side Top 10 theme park locals showing your Disney side. What are your top 10 things that you show throughout the year? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that article?
Well, the article, just with My Disney Side, I see all these videos, and the funniest one, I think, commercial I saw, I don't know if you've seen it, is the commercial where the lady is trying to use her wristband everywhere she goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she runs into the door with her coffee because her door won't unlock with her wristband, things like that. And me and my wife talk to each other all the time. My wife, Christina, by the way, who she laughs every time because whenever you mention her name, you say Michael's wife. And she said, I just meet Christina. So I thought that I would let you guys know that. Anyway.
We love Christina Black.
Absolutely. And her
husband.
Yeah.
That's great. I say keep doing it. But we talk all the time about how we do so many things that we don't know how we would narrow it down. If we were to do a video for showing our Disney side, what would we do? And so I got to thinking and I narrowed it down. I had a list probably of about 30, 35 things that we do, and I had to narrow it down to 10. So, and there weren't any honorable mentions. I almost put some on there, but I strictly made it down to 10, and they were pretty much ones that I thought a lot of people might share. And then some of them were just distinct to myself. And what I was hoping to accomplish was to get others to share theirs. And it was strictly selfish because I thought there might be some things that we're not doing yet that we really need to be doing. So I'm waiting for someone some people to post on there and let me know what theirs are so we can start stealing them.
I know you. I'm looking at the article right now, and man, you guys got a lot of cool stuff. You got your house is well decorated,
and that's just a little bit. I couldn't do the whole thing, Yeah, it's insane. Everywhere you turn, it's Mickey, it's Minnie, it's whatever Disney we can find.
Right. And you even posted four pictures of Spaceship Earth. How many pictures do you suppose you have of Spaceship Earth?
Too many to count. There's too many to count. And every time Christina will say, "Why are you taking another picture?" And I was like, "I don't have a picture today at this moment." That's right. From this exact angle. So.
And the wand has gone on all your pictures too.
Oh,
or the spatula.
Yeah. I did find a wand picture, but I didn't include that. So,
what? Being that you're down there now, I know. Like I love going down at Christmas time and being there. What is your favorite season to go to the parks now?
Off peak. No. We really enjoy Halloween a lot. We really enjoy the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We love Christmas because Christmas, it gets a bad rap because it's so busy, but there is so much to see and do that you can spread yourself out. You don't have to constantly be in the parks, especially being local. You can find tons of other things to do and see at the resorts and downtown Disney and everywhere else, and you don't have to get in those crowds so much. My absolute favorite time, though, is into January and into February. That's what I enjoy the most because the weather is typically beautiful. You don't have rain. It rarely will rain, and the crowds are light. especially after the President's Day weekend, and then through the beginning of February. It's typically pretty light.
Very good. As a local, what for our listeners, what time would you recommend not coming down?
Well, it's confusing to us because we've been here for over 2 years and we still can't quite nail it down. Like, we'll think, hey, we can go this week, it'll be fine, and we'll look and it's a 10 out of 10, and we'll get there and it's just insane. But I will say that we typically don't tour a whole lot in the summer months. Summer months for us down here is a lot like winter up there, to where you kind of hunker down and do what you can inside or try to find things to do. So I typically stay away from the summer months. We don't tour as much, and we take advantage of the others probably 9 months out of the year.
Okay. All right. You were at the 25th anniversary of Hollywood Studios yesterday, weren't you?
Yes, we were. We enjoyed that quite a bit.
How cool.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was pretty exciting because, we went in and they hand you a pin, limited edition. It's just for that day. And I love giveaways and I love anything Disney. So the pin was beautiful. I don't know if y'all saw the picture I posted of it, but it was beautiful. And then we went in and we watched the celebration. And during the celebration, we got a special gift from Disney, you would say, because one of the Streets of Hollywood, the performers, they were doing a little thing before the show, or before the rededication, and they were asking trivia questions, and my son got to answer one of the trivia questions. So he was a big part of that initial run there, and I've got the video, and I'm going to put it on the site so that everybody can see over at Passport to the Parks. So it'll be part of my theme park locals segment.
Very cool.
Nice.
Everybody can see that. But it's just when those sort of things happen, those magical things happen, it really makes all the difference in the world. It wasn't about Mickey and Minnie at that point being on stage. It wasn't about the hoopla and the things shooting around. It was my son was part of the celebration and got to be there talking to the cast member, and I just thought that was great.
Yeah, that is very, very special. Very, very special.
Well, I took a look at that pin. That pin is fantastic.
That's nice.
Now, are those going to be available throughout the year, or is this just was that just for yesterday?
I'm sure that was just a yesterday thing. You know how when they have these events, they hand them out.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know, to be honest with you.
Will you be selling yours on eBay?
Absolutely not.
That's a Disney fan.
There you go.
Yeah, I do not part with my Disney memorabilia. I'll find something to do with it.
Very good, very good. Any hidden tips or tricks that you can give out to our listeners for their next visit to Walt Disney World?
My biggest thing, and I was thinking about this morning, my biggest thing I can tell folks to come down is to, I know it's hard, but kind of slow down a little bit. I know it's hard, and you want to go commando, and you want to get everything that you can possibly get in. But it's amazing that since we moved down here, that the most special moments we've had, or the most enjoyable, haven't been any attraction that we've gotten to ride or take part in. It hasn't been getting to a certain dining reservation. It's been these little moments that if you don't slow down a little bit to catch them and to see them, then you'll never get to appreciate them. Everyone gets to go on soaring, but not everybody gets a chance, like my son did yesterday, to answer that trivia question and be part of something. And I think that if you are going too fast and you don't slow down to see some of these details that Disney has put into their parks, then I think you're really missing something. So that would be my number one tip.
Yeah, sometimes
That is
if you're
a great tip.
Yeah, if you're going too fast, sometimes you get tunnel vision and you're not looking at all the other stuff around you. So,
Right, and then you have what I refer to as Disney meltdown, which occurs when it's just sensory overload and everybody in the party is just completely overwhelmed. And I think it's at that point that you start noticing things that you wouldn't have noticed before. You start noticing the crowds more. You start noticing the price of things more. You start
it's getting hotter all of a sudden.
yeah. It's hotter. Those types of things. If you can avoid those meltdowns, that's the way to go.
What do you mean you want another Mickey bar? You just had one 6 hours ago.
That's right.
I know it's hot. Let's go. You know how expensive those things are?
I gave you water 3 days ago. Let me ask you this. I'm just wondering, because this is what I would... Sometimes I'll sit around the house and think, if I lived close to Disney, right now I think I would go to the Polynesian and get a Dole Whip. Or, I'd go over to the beach club and get some ice cream and beaches and cream. Do you ever just do that when you're down there now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jealous.
Like I said the other day with Art of Animation, when we were up in Ohio, and there would be days when you don't feel like cooking or you feel like going out, as a family, and we would go to like Ponderosa, or we would go to a nice steakhouse or something around town. It's nice now because our places like that can be Disney resorts or Disney restaurants. Especially like Art of Animation, it's a great food court, we won't call it a food court. We'll call it a restaurant, an establishment, that really the food is not overly priced. I'm not going to spend any more there than I would if I went to, a steakhouse. So it's just nice to be able to go and do that and walk around the resort, and you feel like you're on vacation all the time. And I think that really helps with the daily grind of doing things, is that, my wife knows when she gets done teaching second grade of the day that she can come home and we can go over to the Polynesian, like you had said, if we wanted to. We could head to Magic Kingdom. And with this Fast Pass Plus, and for locals, I think it is absolutely amazing, because I've gotten to ride attractions I hadn't gotten to ride since we moved here. Because we would not get up early in the morning to go run to that Fast Pass machine and get our Fast Pass and then come back in the evening. Now I have the ability to reserve those Fast Passes, and then we can go later on that evening. So it's been incredible, the addition of that.
That's a great insight on that.
Very good, yeah.
Because I always think about Fast Pass as us, running down there, but being a local, that has to be a great advantage.
Yeah.
It is, and I hear a lot of negatives about it, and I understand some of the negatives. I think Disney's working them out slowly. But for us, I'll give you an example, Toy Story Midway Mania. We moved down here January 2 years ago, and I had not been able to ride that until we were able to make Fast Pass Plus reservations.
Wow.
We wouldn't stand in the line. I still have a 20-month-old. And of course, in that 2 years, he was born within that 2 years, and now, he's growing up, but you can't stand in a two-hour line.
No.
And as far as Fast Passes goes, when you are working in the day, or, my son was going to school, you couldn't run in the morning and go get those Fast Passes for later that afternoon. We actually did once for Soarin'. Me and my wife went, dropped my son off at school. We went to Epcot, walked into Epcot, got the Fast Passes, but we had to stand there and wait until it was for after his school let out. Stood there and waited, got the Fast Passes, then we left. And later on that evening, we brought him back so that he could ride with one of the two of us.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And that's just a lot of effort that now we can circumvent. We can actually make those reservations and know, hey, we can ride these 3 attractions and we're good.
And you're going to one of the best places in the world to go have dinner.
We are.
That is awesome. That is.
I love it.
Tim, I thought you said this was going to be a half full. Now I'm depressed.
What?
I can't just wander over to Art of Animation for a nice dinner.
No, you can't.
I am so sad right now. It's cloudy out.
It's bringing you down. It's bringing me down.
Oh, I don't know. Bringing Christina Black's husband on. I don't know if that was a good call.
I know. We might have to cut him loose.
Hey, you guys can come down and stay whenever you want. I've got a guest room. Come on.
Excellent. How far from the parks are you again?
He needs to be very careful, Tim.
Exactly. Us and our family of 16.
Hey, we could drop our kids off over at Michael's house.
Hey.
That'd be all right.
Love it.
Michael, can you give us any insight? What do you got coming up next on Theme Park Local?
Well, I'm working on a few things. I'm working on well, I kind of teased it a lot, but the Art of Animation, kind of, wouldn't call it a review, but just basically what we tend to like to do with that resort. And then I'm also working on a piece. We went to see David Bromstad the other day from HGTV at Epcot at the Flower and Garden. So I'm just working on something there just to kind of talk about Flower and Garden overall, being a local, the fact that you can go in and take advantage of these events. We're going to be going to yet another Mardi Gras concert tomorrow night. We're going to go see Nelly. So I will probably post some video from that concert as well. That's another perk of being local, is that these concerts and all these things that go on at Universal and Disney, you can just take advantage of them when they come around, and it's free basically. I mean, you have your annual passes, but it's nice. And then I'm also going to dive into some of the pitfalls of living down here. It's not all fun, and I think that when we post things, I'm a glass half full type of person when I post on Facebook. I don't like to complain. I always post positive things. Because of that, it makes it look like we're living some glorious life to where there are no issues.
Right.
And I think that, I think that it's good to show kind of what some of the pitfalls are for living down here or being local, and what traps you can fall into, because we fell into some of them when we first moved down here. So I want to talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to see where it goes. This site is so in its infancy that we don't quite know where it's going to go, but we're excited about it. So we really want people to check it out. We want feedback from everybody. What direction would you like it to go? What would you like to hear? Kind of like when you guys started, you wanted to know, what do you guys want to hear?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's kind of the way we would like to approach it. I mean, something that would interest you on a daily basis. What would you like to hear from me? Just pretty much what we've done today. Where you're asking questions, ask away. I have no problem answering any question that people might have. You might not agree with what I have to say, but it might help. You never know.
That's right.
Yeah, the site's put together beautifully. It's gorgeously laid out. I like it a lot.
It is. Rob does an amazing job there, and it's funny because I wrote my first articles and things, and I submitted them to him, and I was all nervous because I didn't know if it was going to be good enough or whatever. And he took it and formatted it and did what he needed to do for it. And then I looked up, and there was this I don't even know, logo. The logo for the theme park local. Mm-hmm. And I was just in awe. I'm like, I've got a logo, and it's got my name on it.
That's right. It sure does.
And he just does an amazing job. And that's why another reason why when he had asked me to be part of it, I went and checked out the site. I was like, let's go check it out. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, I need to be a part of this because he's got the basis down here for something that's going to be special. So we're just going to take it and see where it can go.
It's a very nice site. Again, everybody, that is Passport to the Parks, all one word, ResortLoop.com. So passporttotheparks.com. We'll link that up on our website and Facebook page. So, quick question for you. This is a personal question for you, Michael. I'm going to be down there in June. We are going to have a mini ResortLoop.com meet. Can I expect to see you again?
What time in June?
It's going to be June. I think it's going to be June 15th. Around there. It's going to be around June 15th. I'll have the exact
details coming up.
The exact place and time as we get closer.
Well, I will tell you, my little sister is getting married on the 22nd in Ohio. So I don't know when we're going to be leaving for there because, like I said, my wife is a teacher. Therefore, and me as a stay-at-home dad who pretty much looks at Disney stuff all day, we have the ability to go for long lengths of time, up to Ohio. So right. I hope I can make it.
See that, Tim? He's willing to drive all the way to Ohio just to avoid me.
That's only 1,000 miles.
I met him one time. That was enough for Michael. He has had enough of me. He's driving back to Ohio.
And most of your restraining orders involve about 1,000 miles.
No, I tell you what, I was upset that it was so busy the day that you came in there when I was working that I didn't get a chance to talk to you longer. It was kind of crazy that day.
It was, you were very busy, but I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes for me. That was very nice of you. Very, very nice of you.
Well, I enjoyed
Me
it.
as well, and hopefully I'll get to meet the rest of the family. By the way, Tim, one of our, as I've coined them, one of our hashtag Super Looper families, because they're all involved in the ResortLoop.com. So
I love it.
There you go. I think that's all I have, Tim.
Excellent. Michael, where can people find you if they want to send you a message or talk to you directly?
Well, I am on Facebook, of course. It's Michael Black 2396, I believe. And then at Passports to the Park, passporttotheparks.com. And also our Facebook page is facebook.com/passporttotheparks. Also on Twitter and YouTube. So I'm Grumpy23 on Twitter as well.
Very nice. You are. Michael, say hello. What's that?
I'm not quite as grumpy as I used to be when I started.
Please say hello to the rest of the Super Looper family for us.
Yes. Wish them our best.
I will do that, and we will be recording a nice intro for you from the monorail. We've been trying to get it down, but we'll be getting one for you.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you very much.
And I really appreciate you having me on. This has been fun.
Oh, our pleasure.
Thank you. Yep. That's all I got, Tim.
All right. Well, Michael, thanks for joining us. Once again, I'm Tim Scott. You can find me at ResortLoop on Twitter, and we have that website, ResortLoop.com.
And I'm ResortLoop Bob on the Twitter. Don't forget Facebook.com/ResortLoop and Instagram us and rate us on iTunes. And where else can they listen, Tim?
You can always get us on the Stitcher.
The Stitcher. Don't forget our Joffrey's Coffee, the official coffee of ResortLoop.com.
Michael, thanks for joining us. Everybody, you've been listening to The Gateway to the Magic.
See you, everybody.